Good evening, friends, and welcome to Up Up, Down Down, Left Right. Amen. I am, as always, Adam Glass. And tonight we are continuing to play The Tomb of Moses, an exciting adventure game, an exciting biblical adventure game. I gotta get that right. From the German Bible Society. I've been playing it for a few weeks now, and tonight we are to level 4, the Mysterious Library. According to my teacher's guide, this level's theme is the 10 Commandments. Which 10 Commandments remains to be seen. Possible formation of a question. I love the... It's translated from German, which shouldn't be that difficult, but I'm not real sure what possible formation of a question means. This is also translated by the German Bible Society. I'm not running this through any Google Translate myself. But our possible questions. How can one describe the value and sense of the 10 Commandments? Explanation of individual commandments. Explanation of the 4 biblical symbols. Commandments, cloud, Ark of the Covenant, chest, golden calf, cow, menorah, lampstand. I assume those are things we will interact with in the game. Weird. Possible difficulties. It anticipates that we will get lost as we wander the mysterious library. Possible death of the player figure. Death has not been a possibility in this game so far. I'm intrigued as to what might happen. That we could die. I don't know what that means. The materials, of course, as I've established, I don't have the materials. I have the teacher's guide, but none of the worksheets or note sheets that were supposed to have come with the teacher's guide. Ideas for a lesson. Write a letter to B. B is the semi-antagonistic guy who keeps we keep finding letters from him to the guy we're trying to find. So for our lesson plan this week, we are to have our students pretend to be Aegidius Fogg, the scientist, the archaeologist who we are chasing in this game, trying to find. We pretend to be Fogg, and we write a letter to B, his antagonist, in which he explains one commandment that he likes most. I like that. I like the idea of pretending to be a fictional old man and writing a letter about which of the commandments we like the best. In the letter, he gives detailed arguments for his choice. That's a terrible lesson plan. That's very bad. Yeah. Learn the 10 Commandments, figure out which one you like the most, and then argue why it's the best. That's very weird. Why I said which 10 Commandments is because depending on your tradition, they're numbered differently. So you can find all of this, if you want to dive into it, it's on Wikipedia, but essentially the numbering system is different between the Torah, between the Talmudic count, I guess, between Reformed Christians, between Lutherans, between a couple different translations. Augustine numbered them differently. The Catholic Church's official catechism numbers them differently. But yeah, so general Protestantism is the number I grew up with, I suppose. Which, like I said, it numbers, gets a little weird in the numbering. So, yeah, it's a big table on Wikipedia. I'm not going to explain it. It doesn't do us any good to explain it. Nonetheless, we will. The German Bible Society is supposed to be an ecumenical group, as far as I know, but I'm betting they're Protestant, and I'm betting that we'll end up with a Lutheran count, but I don't know for sure. Also, maybe they'll just sidestep that whole debate. We shall see. Nonetheless, we are in the library. I voted up the game. We've got a poster of the golden calf right behind us. Presumably that is the door we came in. And yeah, it's a library. Let's see what we got. A letter. Oh, I can't. It's going to be one of those nights. So the it won't let me turn sometimes because the player box is hitting things.
Might be important for your investigation. It was started many centuries ago by monks in the Sinai Desert. Rumor has it that it contains a collection of manuscripts that date back to biblical times.
So we're back in Sinai.
To the times of Moses. Because of the value of the manuscripts, the exact location of the library has always been kept secret. But I know you. If anyone can find it...
Apparently we have also found it. We are not a Gideus, by the way, in case that's not been clear. We are some guy trying to find a Gideus.
Thursday, July 17th. I am in an old library. I can see 4 frescoes on the wall. If I had to describe the pictures, I'd say that they show a cloud, an old chest, a golden cow, and a lampstand. If only I knew what these symbols mean.
He's just a very bad biblical archaeologist. He doesn't know what that cloud, that lampstand, that cow, or that chest is. Obviously, that's what our lesson plan was prepping us for, in over-explaining that chest is the Ark of the Covenant. If you ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, you already know that. Don't touch it. Don't open it. It's a cow, sure. That's a candle stand, a menorah. It would be called now, generally in a Jewish context. We're not exactly in a Jewish context here, so let me sidestep that conversation. And a cloud on top of a mountain, like that 70s horror movie where the evil cloud attacks the Alpine retreat. I guess we'll go upstairs. More golden calf. I wonder what the cow is. Not a door I can interact with. There's a... Oh, it is... Okay. More library. What a mysterious library. Okay, before we do that, what else is up here? That's how I came upstairs, I think. Is it? Well, that doesn't seem right. I didn't walk that far, did I? No, I didn't. The Israelites left Rephidim. Then 2 months after leaving Egypt, they arrived in the desert Mount Sinai, near Mount Sinai. So the story, if you're not familiar, is that they get to Mount Sinai, and Moses goes up the mountain to collect the 10 Commandments, because God told him to go up the mountain. And while he's up the mountain, the Israelites get a little bored. Something's opened. And
I've Got something for you. What you describe as a golden cow must be the so-called golden calf. Remember? While Moses received the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai,
There we go. That was
his people
the
had
bit of
to
the
wait
story
for
I was
him
about
at
to
the
go.
foot of the mountain for 40 days and nights. You know by now that their trust in God had always left much to be desired, but this time they turned their backs on him completely. They melted all the golden jewelry they had and cast an idol in the shape of a young bull. They put it on an altar and danced wildly around it and worshipped it. God didn't like that at all. If Moses hadn't begged God to forgive his people, who knows what would have happened next?
Fun fact, all that golden jewelry was stolen from the Egyptians as reparations. Reparations for slavery? In the Bible? Crazy. Maybe I should have... I don't know. There's still that other door upstairs I haven't gone through, but let's be systematic about this. Bedouin tent, Genesis 4:20. Nice. They were not kidding about getting lost in the library. Especially since everything looks incredibly similar. All right. Can't do anything there yet. What have I done? I skipped that first door. And now I think at this point, I'm not ever going to be able to get back there. 12 breads on the table in the sacred tent. 12 breads, 12 tribes of Israel. I'm not actually familiar with that part of the story.
Finally, I've hit upon a trick to find my way through this library labyrinth without getting lost. I always turn right and search each floor, beginning downstairs and working my way upwards. That's working really well.
Oh, that sounds like a really great plan. I should have. Oh, I love that I can take the do not steal sign. That's very good. That is some fine comedy there. Sacred Brads. Who designed this library? Okay, that's not back to Sacred Brad. All right, your systematic way of getting through this is already getting me lost. Thanks, Egidius. Useless. All right. Okay. A lot of lists of offenses that carry the death penalty, apparently. All right. Well, let's not go that way yet. Let's see what's down here. Okay, weird floored room. What? Oh! It crashed when I died. Okay, well, we'll start over and we'll more systematically go through the room, I guess. And we won't goof up that room. Why is there a way to die in this game? Okay. Oh, there was nothing down here. Remember the Sabbath day belongs to me. 7 light bowls with oil. There's where'd it go? There it is. Can't open that door.
I am studying an old book from the 18th century. It mentions an old library that should have a room of the 10 Commandments. Oh, where was that again? There it is. There is every reason to believe that the room of the 10 Commandments hides a secret mechanism that opens a concealed chamber. What exactly the chamber contains is uncertain.
It contains spikes, I'm pretty certain.
It's likely that its contents give information about the tomb of Moses.
No, it just brings death.
You are standing in front of a lampstand? Does it have 7 light bowls? Then it's a menorah. It symbolizes enlightenment. I've always wondered what that means.
It means there's light. All right. Well, pulling the menorah. Finally, we get a Finally, we get to pull a lamp to open a gate. That's all I've wanted out of this entire game so far, was that a door would be open when I pull on a lamp. And I finally got it, so I can quit. All right, we took the menorah. Something opened somewhere. Can I close this door? I can't. I don't want to, though, because now if I get back here, I'm not going to figure out where I am. All right. Well, let's to the next room. Make sure there's nothing back this way first. Their suggestion on how to get through this space really isn't helpful if the always go to the right rule means we miss stuff. First set. Let's see. I should have the directions on how not to die at some point. So, if I need it, I just don't. I'll just save scum. We'll save right before we go in that room. That'll work. Okay. Okay. Better intent. 420. Excellent. Nice painting. How'd they get a copy of that if this place has been closed up for centuries? Yeah, but always a lot of not ancient art in this room. Okay, this is where I came in. Thank you. Nothing down here. Okay. All right. Sacred Bread Room.
Finally, I've hit upon a trick to find my way through this library.
Yeah, your trick.
Without getting lost.
Your trick is bad.
I always turn right and search each floor, beginning downstairs and working my way upwards. It's working.
All right. That's back where we came in, went downstairs, crossed this entire room. Cool. Nothing else here. No posters in this room. Why would there be no posters? Why is there an empty wing in this library? Was it built for some other purpose? Did they miscount? It's decided by committee and they had to start building before they could agree on how many clues there were going to be? All right, that's another stone door, or stone corridor. So I won't go there yet. Make sure there's nothing down this way. Yeah, this wing is completely empty, it looks like. So, What's that middle room? It's back down here, right? Right. See, this room's got posters. We've been here already, haven't we? Yes, we have. So spiky spikes. Do not want anything that belongs to someone else. Be faithful in marriage. Do not. These are some pretty interesting translations. Respect your father and mother. Don't misuse my name. A very misunderstood commandment, that one. All right. Well, we don't need to be in there yet. Looks like we still have I am the Lord your God to find. Hey, I wonder where it might be. No consistency in how to open this stuff. Yes! Another great library puzzle. Just pull the one miscolored book. How did a phone get in here?
This cloud was a complete mystery to me. I'd never heard of it before, so I typed it into the search engine. It's to do with Mount Sinai and the covenant.
I never heard of it before, so I googled
the
it.
summit of the mountain, and under his feet was something that looked like pavement made out of sapphire, as bright as the sky. This is what it says in the corresponding Bible text. When God called Moses, a cloud covered the summit. Do you realize that no one has ever been as close to God as Moses?
Okay. Moses gave the Lord's instructions to the people, and they promised, "We will do everything the Lord has commanded." Then Moses wrote down what the Lord had said. All right. Oh.
Dear Agidius, you are right. Some parts of the Bible are teeming with God's commandments, laws, and instructions. But there are far fewer that really count and are still valid today. Some of them made their way into our own books of law, though they use other words. And if you see how thick these law books are, then the rules and regulations of the Bible are a mere booklet in comparison.
Still don't know if B's bad or not. That's a interesting door.
Dear Agidius, you asked me what Torah means. As far as I know, it is the Hebrew name for the first 5 books of the Bible. We normally call them the Pentateuch. Torah means
Depends on
directive.
who you are.
In the Pentateuch, God gives directions to the Israelites, usually in the form of commandments. Sometimes Torah is also translated as law. Then you get the impression of God as some sort of stickler for the rules who throws laws around. Directive to me seems more to the point because laws are not meant to be an end in themselves, but should help people to get on with one another and with God.
They're not really laws, they're just suggestions. All right, well, I don't want to die in the death room. Death room's my least favorite room. But I got one more commandment to find before I... I guess I haven't been in here yet, have I? No. Altars. I haven't seen any altars. Okay. I'm the Lord your God. Do not worship any god but me is my first commandment. Oh, what a very easy set of puzzles in this one.
I have tried to find out more about the mysterious library that I told you about. It is said to contain a very special volume, the Book of God's Law, which is also called the Book of the Covenant.
I already found that.
According to old reports, this book records the obligations that the people of Israel committed themselves
No, that's
to.
the book of Deuteronomy. That's it's not a mystery.
But it has been lost for many years.
No, it hasn't. No, it's in the canon.
The chest that you talked about must be the Ark of the Covenant. The people of Israel kept the tablets with the 10 Commandments in it. It must have been really magnificent, made of acacia wood, coated with gold inside and out. 4 golden rings at the corners where the poles were put through to carry it. At both long ends of the lid, 2 angels spread their wings to shield it. It's every archaeologist's dream to find the Ark of the Covenant.
It's not even lost. It's in a church in Ethiopia, probably. Am I kidding? That's just a theory. I love that theory though, because it's everybody just says it's there. No proof needed. A few years ago, the head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church told the press that he was going to. Oh wait! Before I do this, I need to save. Told the press he was going to show everybody, and then just decided not to. All right. That's right. Have no other gods before me. Don't misuse my name. Oh, what's next? Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. Father and mother. Do not murder. Well, there's only one left, right? Like there's only one place we can die. Okay, so where's that door? Oh, there it is. The angel door. Oh, another spiky door. Just walk through this, I guess. Oh. We crashed. Well, unfortunately, there's nothing in the teacher's guide about the website, the game crashing. We saved right before we did that. It looks like that was the end of the level. If it's the end of the level, it'll be the end of our play tonight. Take this one level at a time. But let's try it again. Maybe it won't crash.
The Israelites.
Or maybe we can save right before we walk through there, just in case. God's before me. Remember the Sabbath day. What about all these fresco pieces? Am I saving them? Like 1 and 2? All right. Let's save here. Okay. Well, according to my walkthrough, that's the end of the level. Danger, if the boards are inserted in the wrong order, the player falls through Subterranean Dungeon. No, it's not a dungeon. It's a punji pit. You've described that incorrectly, game. Board directions? I don't know. Anyway. All right. Well, that's super annoying, but I don't want to... Honestly, I don't care. Oh. I did the wrong. Close that. Okay. Well, a thing I've been meaning to do, but haven't, is evaluate our lessons according to the lesson plan delivered. So let's just do this real quick. Close that. F1. Numeri. Level 5. Just so I don't forget what I've done last week. We're to level 5. We came through with the 4 things we still had. Okay, all of that makes sense. That's the room we just exited. Cool. Okay. I guess that's why. All right. Well. It flows right into the next one. All makes sense. We'll be done. No. What have I done? All right. F1. That's just going to get frustrating. Okay. So, anyway, beyond that, the game is getting easier. The first levels were significantly more obtuse. Like, all the puzzles had, like, there was the key that opened, like, every door, except for one. And then a second key. So, that's bad game design, period, right? But it was just this level was much more of a puzzle. Whereas last week and this week, levels 3 and 4 were really straightforward. There was not a lot going on. And now we're to 5. But we'll quit. So the game, I don't like that the game is getting easier. That's bad game design. The game should be more difficult as you go through. I'm surprised that you could die in this level, but I guess it makes sense in context. Just weird that this is the only point in the game so far where you could die. You'd jump off a building and not die. Could you, actually? Maybe there wasn't really any opportunity to jump too far. Yeah, weird. Anyway, okay, so our lesson plan. How can one describe the values and sense of the Ten Commandments? That is not a thing that the game actually encourages us to do. The only time we interact with the Ten Commandments is to look at 4 of them to figure out what order they go in. Which I guess requires us... But we didn't even have the first and last one, so we only need to read like 7 of them at the tops. So that's not great. I don't think we even encountered an entire list, because all of the listings of what's in the book were like a table of contents for Exodus, not... Or Deuteronomy, I think, actually. Not... Yeah. Anyway, the book calling... Or the game calling the Book of the Covenant... imagining some secretive hidden text a group of Christians is going to find that is literally what Deuteronomy is and Leviticus is pretty dumb, but not surprising that we're going to encounter certain levels of, I'll say, mild anti-Semitism, definitely Jewish erasure. Yeah. Even as we had learned mild things about the Hebrew people in the Bible, the Jewish people. Got to be careful with that too, because there are people who look like me who will say Hebrew instead of Jewish, and it actually means something pretty nasty because they're bad white supremacists. The Jews and the Hebrews are the same people. Let's just leave that on the record. Not a thing anyone watching this will understand why I have to say, and bless you for not knowing. But if you're mad at the thing I just said, that the Hebrews and the Jews are the same people, bye. All right. Anyway, so explanation of individual commandments. That is not a thing that happened, but I guess possible formation of questions. This category may be anticipating questions that the students might ask, in which case I guess a teacher should be, right, because the game certainly doesn't explain it, so that's good. Explanation of 4 biblical symbols. The commandments are a cloud on top of Sinai. The Ark of the Covenant is the chest in the picture, but even looking, I don't know if looking at that picture, I would have, if I didn't know what the Ark of the Covenant is, I don't know that I would say that's a chest. The golden calf, we don't know that it's golden. It's a black and white drawing of a cow. You might be able to guess that it's a statue, but no. Don't know that that's a golden calf. And the menorah, of course, the lampstand. Just a menorah. Difficulties, orientation in the library. Definitely experienced that. Possible death of the player's figure. We also experienced that. What a jerk. What a jerk move, game. Introducing death halfway through the game. Don't like you. If we were to perform our idea for a lesson, write a letter to B from Edidius Fogg, who apparently knows nothing about Exodus at this point. He is forgetting more and more about the story of Moses as we go through the game. The man is clearly, Fogg is what's happening to his brain. Write a letter explaining which of the commandments is our favorite. Oh, man. Which of the commandments is our favorite? Let's pick 10 commandments. We'll go through. We'll read the whole lot of them. Start to finish, the whole chapter, so we won't even have to figure out what our numbering system is. I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You should not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven. Don't make an idol. Don't misuse the Lord. Don't take the Lord's name in vain is actually, that's the one I'll write about as my favorite, because it is one that is incredibly misunderstood in the Christian culture that I come out of. In my Christian culture, not taking the Lord's name in vain meant explicitly, don't say, oh my God. That's not what this means. That's not what this means at all. I've somehow equated the word curse with curse words, and that's a sociolinguistic question, not a theological question necessarily. But should not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. That's the New International Version of that commandment as found in Exodus 20, as opposed to the other part of the Bible, Deuteronomy, that also relists everything. I don't know that NIV would translate it differently in Deuteronomy, but I'm not looking at Deuteronomy, so I really don't know. Anyway, back to the commandment. I grew up, you couldn't say, oh my God. You couldn't say, oh my gosh, either, because that was just, you're just using substitutes for curse words, and that's also bad. Because we know what you mean, and God knows what you mean, because in your heart you're saying, oh my God, and that's bad. But the thing is, that's not what that commandment is about. Taking the Lord's name in vain isn't saying, oh my God. It's saying, God blesses war. It's saying, Christians should arm themselves. It's saying, it is using God to bless the state violence. It is saying that God is behind things that God is not behind. That is taking the Lord's name in vain. To say that God stands with the powerful instead of the oppressed, instead of the poor, that's taking God's name in vain. To act under the banner of God and make the lives of poor people worse, that's taking the Lord's name in vain. What does God want from us? To walk humbly, to do justice. And if we're not doing that, we're taking the Lord's name in vain. The year of the Lord's favor. Free the captive. Heal the lame. Give sight to the blind. Welcome the stranger. Those are things that when we do, we are keeping the name of God. When we counteract those things and do so in the name of God, we're taking the Lord's name in vain. And saying, oh my God, isn't that. Saying, oh my gosh, certainly isn't that. But it's okay to not say those words, as long as you're also doing the other thing, right? If you feel uncomfortable saying those words, or think saying those words are bad, build a fence around the law. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Sure, don't use it to look down on other people, but do what you do. But you still got to do the good stuff. You got to take care of the poor. You got to welcome the foreigner. You got to treat the refugee as you would someone you've known your whole life. You got to follow all of the commandments, not just the 10, the 600 that are enumerated in the rest of the Torah. Follow God. Now, of course, there's stuff in there that, from a plain reading perspective, is not very good because English translations have an agenda. There's stuff about, let's say, homosexuality being an abomination. That's not a commandment that you really need because it's not really what it says. Or maybe it is, and it's just something we can do without. Do we know better than God in that instance? I wouldn't say that's what that is. What that is taking the Spirit of God as revealed in Scripture, the Spirit of love, for God is love, and applying it wider. Ever wider. God is definitely more merciful than I am. And if God wants me to love mercy and do justice, then I need to always be more merciful. Always be more just. To always be approaching God. And God will always be more merciful than I can ever imagine being. So yeah. I guess that's what I mean when I think about taking the Lord's name in vain. I've talked enough about that. If I were writing my letter to B, I would have to edit that. But I'm speaking off the cuff to you on the internet. And that's what I'll do. This level was very short and very straightforward. Even though it was a very confusingly set up library. Why is artificial difficulty to make all those rooms look the same. I don't like the decisions that were made. Anyway, thank you so much for watching Up, Up, Down, Down, Left, Right. Amen. Next week, we will play level 5 of the Tomb of Moses. There are 7 levels total, so we've got a couple more weeks on this. I think there's 7. Maybe there's 8. I don't know. Looks like 7 to me. So, yeah. Also looks like 7's pretty short. So, maybe we'll only have 2 more weeks of this. Don't know what we'll play after that. Never do. We'll figure it out. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I'm Adam Glass. We'll see you next week. Bye.